Just activating the recording. This is all connected to the VRMSC. I see most of the faces we're seeing here have been with us before, but if you are interested, I will post a link to the chat so you can come and see the VRMSC page. Sam's actually helped us develop the VRMSC and has helped us understand what a VR company needs from its developers. So we've tried to match that so we can train beginners all the way up to the sort of skill sets which are needed. So in the interest of time, and I know Sam actually he said he'd like lots of time to talk, I think we should start.
Okay, great. I will just share my screen. Which one am I sharing? That one. Right, let's play. Can everyone see my screen? I'm going to shrink my view down. Where's my cursor gone? Sorry. No, I'm supposed to make do with that. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. As Mark said, I've been working with Swansea University in the VR department for, I don't know, we've sort of known each other for a couple of years, I think now. And we are looking at sort of creating, well, some of you have a brief, I believe, or will be receiving a brief about doing some quest development over the summer. And it made sense that I came and did a talk about some of our specific use cases and VR, how it's being used in the real world, and some of the challenges around that before that point. Sorry, Mark, if I've just given away any spoilers. But I've known Mark and Leighton for, as I say, for a couple of years. I'm quoted in Leighton's book. I think the names have been changed to protect the innocent, but I'm sure you've all read it and imbibed the knowledge within. Is Leighton on this call? Actually, is he on this?
I've not seen him in the call. Also, I made a mistake of pinning you. I should have not done that. Oops, that's right. There you go. No, Leighton doesn't seem to be with us today. I will message him and find out why he's what's up.
That's fair. That's fine. He's listened to me talk about VR many times at great length, so I'm here for you, not him.
Thank you.
So Mark and I talked about, you know, what should I cover, and he gave me a very high risk title in terms of how VR is going to transform, or how it is transforming the world in 10 ways. But before I get onto that, just quickly go over who I am and what I've been doing to get to this point today to sort of validate what I have to say and who we are. So my name's Sam Watts. I'm the Immersive Partnerships Director for a company down in Brighton called Make Real. Ironically, with my role and in terms of all terminology and everything, it was only a couple of months ago that I realised that my the initials of my job title spell out IPD, which is actually terminology for VR, for the interpupillary distance between your eyes, and getting your lenses in the right place for a good vision. So I've obviously adjusted that accordingly. I joined the company in 2013, just as the Oculus Rift DK1 Kickstarter came about. Initially, I joined to deliver a multi-channel construction site training company, working in Melbourne, Australia. And this was a 15-meter parabolic screen, 3 4K projectors projecting 3D content to sort of immerse you within the construction site because the screen was just so large. The DK1 came out, that's the headset in the top left there. And although we'd done some military grade sort of VR development previously, we were talking about headsets that cost £25,000, have very small field of views, very high latencies, and the computers running them fairly rudimentary in terms of the graphics. So there was a lot of emphasis on accuracy, but in terms of cost, it was extortionate compared to what could become a consumer-facing product. And suddenly, this $300 device that ran Unity and Unreal content from a sort of mid-end PC was highly viable in terms of how we could create content and how we could use technology to we didn't know really. So I was allowed to spend a year investigating and exploring all various different use cases and different technologies to understand what we could do as a business. So I went around and met a lot of developers and a lot of hardware manufacturers, tried a lot of devices out. Some of it was very early gold rush days, so there was a lot of people making hardware. It wasn't so clear cut in terms of the main companies today, and obviously some of the bigger names have faded away a little bit in the present day. But ultimately, I tried out a lot of VR headsets of varying quality and invariably made myself quite ill doing it. Some of that was down to the hardware, some of that was down to the actual design, and ultimately that's what we're here to talk about today, really, is the VR design aspects. Amusingly, by doing that, because it was early days, I ended up being number crunched by a huge data organization and labeled as 12th most influential person in the world in VR, just by using hashtags, rated higher than Palmer Luckey and John Carmack, which, considering they essentially restarted VR. Bearing in mind this isn't new technology, we are in the fourth wave of VR essentially. I found that quite amusing, but it's been beneficial in a number of ways. So part of that is going around doing various talks, a bit like this, but in the old world, when it was actually face to face and on podiums and with live audiences, which was slightly more terrifying at times. So the company, as I say, I joined in 2013. It's actually existed since about 2001. The founders have a background of full flight simulators and AAA game studios. For some reason, they decided to start a web company focusing on elastic search and big data, classifiers and listings. But because of that background, there was always an interest in 3D. So when I joined it, I was employee number 4 in the 3D team, and the web team had about 30 people. As we validated our use cases and worked with more organizations deploying immersive technology, the balance shifted, and there's now about 30 of us working for Make Real, which is what we initially branded the 3D team as. And then about 2 years ago, we closed down the web company, as it were, and legally made everything operating as Make Real as our primary focus. EDF Energy and RS Components were our first 2 clients who were really keen to explore how immersive technologies could be used. So thankfully, they had budget to spend on prototypes and exploration, and they were able to quickly sort of test and iterate and build upon and support what was deemed to be working well, and ignore and write off what hadn't been so successful. There's a few logos missing there just because I can't show them, but if you know the big 4 consultancy firms, that's who they are, who we work with. But the rest sort of covers a whole range of sectors, some of which I'm going to be covering as our sort of 10 ways. So, I mean, it feels a bit limiting saying 10 ways. I think once we dive into each of these particular areas, it will quickly sort of expand out into a number of ways. But I wanted to just list sort of 10 key areas where VR is having a positive impact today. And that's anything from training, education. There's a clear distinction between those two. recruitment and healthcare, collaboration, very, very key at the moment in terms of everybody being remote and working virtually. Tourism, again, because we can't go anywhere currently. What's been branded as story living, which is immersive storytelling, essentially, being part of the story rather than just being a passive audience member. Entertainment and events, retail, to a degree, marketing, and I put gaming last just because VR gaming has been very heavily emphasized since the sort of 2013, 2014 with the Rift. And whilst it is obviously making great waves, there's many other reasons why VR can be used. Now, a fun little gotcha for you here. On the right-hand side, there is essentially what is deemed to be the first VR headset. This is the terrifyingly sounding Sword of Damocles from Ivan Sutherland. Ivan Sutherland created it. It's got a huge, great pole holding the equipment from the ceiling because of the weight. But it's actually an AR device. It's augmenting data over the real world because he can see through and he's got pass through there. But it just highlights the point that, even today, after 8 years essentially of the new wave of VR, people still get AR and VR, etc., all mixed up. So hard skills, soft skills training. I guess hard skills is anything that's physical to a certain degree. Soft skills is not a particularly great term. It sort of suggests that it's not as important or it's easier. Interpersonal skills, essentially. There's been a lot of talk around from Chris Milk and Clouds over Sidra, VR being the empathy machine. Mel Slater covers a lot of research into embodiment and agency of when you sort of take on avatars. But ultimately, it all comes down to allowing people to train in a way that simulates the real world, allows them to fail safely. They can build a base level of knowledge, and through either them being more effective in terms of their training, or not having to travel to train, or not having to build a huge great flight simulator, for example. It's all about saving time and money. Soft skills is actually one of our biggest growth areas at the moment, starting about 3 years ago. And we've built a lot of tool chains around that to improve our efficiencies of content creation, but also efficiencies in terms of how designers and developers work together in terms of how they create logic. I'll talk about some of that in a minute. Now, the hard skills was always a very sort of obvious to most area sort of benefit of VR, being able to put somebody in a dangerous environment virtually where they hadn't been trained. Much of our early work focused around this, and our partnership with Keltbro, for example, is all based around this. But it's the soft skills stuff that's actually really, really interesting. So just focusing about hard skills initially, this is a still, you have to excuse me because of Zoom and everything, I've decided not to put any videos in just because the playback tends to be a bit jittery. We've got plenty of videos over on our YouTube or on our website. But we worked with Vodafone to create a health and safety risk assessment, PPE importance, PPE being personal protection equipment, experience in VR for them to roll out as part of their work safe, home safe global initiative a couple of years ago. And this seems like an obvious thing. You select your PPE, you put on your hard hat, you put your viz and your climbing materials, you carry out a risk assessment, you highlight hazards on a rooftop, you get to the mobile phone mask, you climb, and then you carry out a antenna adjustment process with a spanner. And then it seems like an obvious sort of hard skills training experience, but we actually designed it for the managers of the teams, the maintenance teams who are carrying out the work, because it was designed to elicit empathy within those managers for their team members, so that they didn't overload them with a number of jobs that they had to do each day. They didn't force them to work too quickly or carelessly. When they came saying our new climbing rig needed replacing because it's worn and torn and it could snap and they could fall, they agreed to spend the money to replace it rather than thinking they could save a few pennies here and there and look good. And it was actually, hugely successful as part of that ongoing process. We don't have the exact numbers, but the way we designed it was, bearing in mind this was a few years ago, so we had full VR, which was at the time an Oculus Rift attached to a laptop, giving you full 6 DoF tracking. And we had the mobile VR in terms of the Gear VR or the Go headset with a 3 DoF, where it's just tracking the head movement. But then we also created a web VR version that just ran 360 video across their browser-based Vodafone University system. And because we knew that from the start, we were able to unify and simplify that code base to create those 3 versions and design it in a way that we didn't have to reinvent the wheel each time for each platform. And based upon the limitations, 3 DoF, you can't climb the ladder, for example. But it's still very, very compelling in terms of the hard skills, because people believe they're actually climbing up the ladder. In the prototype that we built to get the stakeholder engagement, we used a standalone telephone mast, which is 25 meters high. We had to go and climb it ourselves, so we knew what it felt like. Most of our designers go and do the training of whatever it is that we're creating content on, so they can become SMEs in that area. So they have a strange selection of skills and certificates from a variety of random training courses across all sectors. But in a prototype, people were getting halfway up this virtual 25-meter telephone mast and just freezing in spot, because they were so convinced they were climbing up a real mast. They suddenly discovered they had vertigo or didn't like heights, and we were having to prise controllers off people because they were just absolutely frozen and locked in spot. So the design consideration for the final version was that we used a rooftop mast that was a shorter climb, still gave you a sense of height and danger, but would allow more people to actually get to the top and complete the experience. And then the other consideration here, and I'll wrap up all of this talking about some sort of good tips for design in general and things you have to keep in mind, is in the hazard risk assessment part of the experience, people were looking around to find a red highlighted exclamation mark that would suggest that there was a hazard in that area. And then once they selected it, there were 3 potential hazards, and they had to select which one they thought was the right one. And it could be anything from damaged brickwork at the roof edge, a grease spill. This mast, for example, the actual right answer is it was covered in bird poo. And you could get a disease from it if you're not wearing your gloves properly, or the right gloves. But we had one of the exclamation marks was actually quite high at the top, near where the antenna is. And to spot it, you really had to look up to sort of see. And we noticed, and we were tracking in our metrics, that a large percentage of people kept on missing this particular hazard area. And we'd coded the experience in a way that you wouldn't move on to the next stage of climbing until you'd spotted all the hazards. And we were having to tell people to look up further. And we realized that, in terms of accessibility, some people just couldn't do that. this was designed for managers, not people doing the jobs. That you know, Motability wasn't quite so much of an issue in terms of training and suitability. But we had to move some of the points down just because people would only look so far up to actually trigger it. And then sort of some of the YouTube stats backs that up as well in terms of why they started focusing on 180 video rather than 360 video, is just because humans, and we've seen it a lot, humans are so used to focusing on a screen. When they put a headset on, they're not really aware of the ability to actually look around or the physical replications of the real world. We're often getting asked in certain experiences, it's like, well, how do I stop that thing that's coming at my head? How do I avoid it? What button do I press? It's like, well, you just duck. That's how you'd avoid it in the real world. And similarly, people quite often just won't move their head because they just don't. They just think it's just a screen that they're being presented with. So you have to think about that first time experience and allowing people to sort of understand, or in some elements of the design to encourage them to look around more. And we also learned over time that we don't say things like look around, because most people would just be swiveling their eyeballs around in the headset but keeping their head still. So you have to verbally spell it out. You can move your head around. So if you can incorporate elements into the design to encourage them to look, sounds or sights, things that would automatically normally make you trigger that way. And then because of the capabilities of rollout at the time, and the coverage we wanted, we had to examine the employee within Vodafone movement around Europe. And we highlighted 4 key areas, 4 main HQs, and we deployed the full VR experience there so everyone can get to try it. And by doing that, we worked out over the course of a year, 8% of the employees would get to experience it. But then with the Oculus Go version, they created a take-home package, which you could, through the internal network system, you could request to borrow a package for the weekend, and it would all be set up and preloaded with the experience to go away and train. And then we also worked with Oculus at the time to get the experience on Go launched on the store. Unfortunately, now I think the Go store is pretty much dead. I know we can't update it anymore since December, but it is, if you do have a Go, you do have access to one, it should still be freely available to go and try out. And then wrapping up a lot of our sort of experience and hard skills, I mean, we've deployed over over 100 different immersive experiences, and probably 2/3 are currently sort of within the sort of hard skills sort of area. But one thing that we're seeing more and more of is not necessarily it's just content, but it's also supporting tools. And obviously, being a university in academia, you'll appreciate the need for metrics and studies and validation of outcomes and uses. So we've been working with, we're now created a official joint venture company with Keltbray, which is a large, well, I say deconstruction or demolition company within the UK. They do a lot of the preparation works for construction sites, so they'll tear down buildings safely and ensuring trains and undergrounds can still run, etc. We've created a number of experiences with them, but we've also seen there's a key issue within the construction industry in terms of validation of the training and certification to ensure that the person on site matches the person on the training certificate who has apparently been trained in particular areas. So we've created a tool called Skill Shield, and here this takes a video feed from the headset, streams it over a local Wi-Fi connection, so it doesn't need to go on the internet, which is big problem for a lot of sites or a lot of enterprise organizations. And then combined with the video feed of the webcam of the person doing the training, and all the learning outcomes being ticked off as they're completed by the learner, it creates this irrefutable video learner record that can then be stored against that person's profile for future reference as necessary. So if an on-site incident occurs, and either the person tries to claim they never had the training, which is quite often, or if their lawyer or whatever tries to claim that there's no evidence that this person has had the training, this is that sort of video evidence showing that this is Brian Smith or whoever actually doing the training. So moving on to our soft skills side of things, this is our latest piece, D&I perspectives, but we started about 3 years ago with Lloyd's. They came to us to a couple of events and they're like, we really love VR, but we're not sure how we could incorporate VR into, we're a financial business. And beyond a sort of jokey, well, we could make you a VR roller coaster of a share bar chart or slide, etc. We work with them to understand where are their main training needs and what are the main issues, sort of barriers to training. And one of the key areas was soft skills. A lot of it is role play, it's group, it's not taken very seriously. People get embarrassed. Sort of the main role play that most people like is fine if it's wizards and dice, but when it comes to pretending to be somebody else at work in a work situation, it all gets a bit awkward and very subjective, because there's no real sort of measurable feedback other than, well, we didn't really make enough eye contact. Whereas now, using VR, we can you count exactly and show exactly where you were looking at all times and give you a number. And it's fairly subjective in that role play is often done with actors or trainers, and we're all human, and an actor's performance in the morning is going to be different to an actor's performance in the afternoon. So it wasn't consistent across those sessions. So we created a prototype again with them, and it was a 5-minute experience based upon some of their existing training. And they, within a couple of days of making it available, they had a waiting list and queues for people to try it out. And it led on to the next experience. And the first one, I think we had 15 lines of dialogue. You met Joe, and Joe had been reported to have had a inappropriate response to somebody on the office floor, and you had to have a conversation with them to understand how they were feeling about it, why they acted like they did, but allow them to come away feeling that they'd been listened to, but at the same time you had got the point across in terms of what is acceptable behavior within the workplace. And we had example charts showing we could measure heart rates and sweat rates and various other biometrics with additional wearables if they were to be plugged in. And that had 15 lines of script. It was a branching narrative, very early sort of Bandersnatch style. And then that led on to the first full piece, which was all about personal vitality and resilience, which is about ego states and sort of how to view and understand sort of how your colleagues are feeling based around certain events within the workplace. So the scenario here was that there was rumours of a layoff coming, and you were in the coffee room having conversations with people, and there was somebody who just bought a house. There was somebody who was soon to retire, so they were generally indifferent. There was somebody who was on the edge for a variety of reasons, and you could choose a sort of grading scale appropriate responses or inappropriate responses, but then you also got the playback in terms of how much eye contact you made, what ego states they're in, what their response mindsets were like, and it all came down to allowing or enabling people to practice being better to one another and taking each other's thoughts into consideration. And that had about 150 script elements in it. And it led on to the third piece, which is relationship management, which is around more about customer relations for business products from Lloyd's to external clients and customers. This ended up being, so it went from a 5-minute experience to a 30-minute experience. This was 4 hours of content, not all expected to be completed at once. I don't think, not that beastly or that pro VR that we would enforce anyone to wear a headset for 4 hours, but it was also used across 5 different departments, and that had near 1,500 lines of dialogue in, and it was getting quite unwieldy at this point because the branching narrative and the logic in terms of flowing through the conversations and coming out the various outcomes, the script writer and the designers would create it in one way that made sense to them, but then the coders who wanted to implement that logic and the actual interaction and the flow, they're all working in a different way. So we had to put our own tool sets to find a happy medium that kept the designers and the coders happy, so that they could both create content in a way that was efficient but productive for them. And overall, these experiences have now been deployed across 6 centres of learning for Lloyd's across the country. And with the first one, they're about 2 years in. So they're after paying for the content creation, which was sort of high 5 figures, they were expecting to be saving around £275,000 a year. And that was just with a 30-minute piece of content that was optional for people to choose to do, whereas the relationship management piece is being rolled out much longer, many more teams across a larger number of users. So keen to see those metrics coming back. But anyway, coming back to this piece, D&I perspectives. This is with another global financial institution, and they wanted to explore how using that embodiment and empathy side of VR in terms of agency working, how we could create a discussion piece around microaggressions experience within the workplace. So working with them, we interviewed a number of their employees who gave us real world stories of microaggressions that they had suffered within the workplace. And then we had to choose 4 that were scriptable and filmable and suitable for like a wider audience. So we're also looking at efficient ways of creating the content, because there's a lot of volumetric capture options, and it looks very nice, but it's very costly to capture and process, and performance playback can be tricky on the sort of standalone devices. And we wanted to explore how we could create a system that allows us to rapidly change up scenarios, film new people, and have many more filming options rather than going to one Volcap studio in London or one in LA and being entirely reliant upon that in the future. So we explored a variety of stereoscopic camera displays, starting off with GoPros, using the InstaPro, just turning off 4 of the lenses and just using 2. And we ended up settling on 2 Sony A7 IIIs, 4K cameras, and filming against a green screen. Now, a photo it looks pretty good here in the photo, even though it's a fairly low res capture in the headset. It's very convincing, but the shortcomings are that it's billboarded in that it is stereoscopic, so you can move a little bit and you get a sense of depth. But if you walk, because you're on the standalone and you're free to do so, if you walk around them, they will turn to face wherever you are in the room. Obviously, the bonus of full Volcat is that you are capturing 3D data in a point cloud of the whole person from every angle. But then that's a lot of data to be constantly showing the back of them if you're never going to be looking at them. And it's, yeah, I think it's down to about £3,000 a minute now, but it was sort of £12,000 a minute of capture at the time. So for low cost content low cost content creation, it was quite out of the question. Sorry, excuse me. So this is I think I've made this available to Mark and some email addresses of people I have who have quests. But if you do have a quest and you'd like to check it out, go to Mark and give him your email address associated with your Oculus account, and I can give you access. So then on to education. There's a lot of talk in terms of suitability of hardware for developing bodies. Most age restrictions are 13 or 12 or 13 plus. It was 7. It raised to 13 when Facebook bought Oculus. I'm sure it's purely a coincidence because it's 13 is the age you have to be to have a Facebook account. But you know, there's a number of reasons why VR, low cost VR is great in education experiences. It can be, it's bite-sized. There's a number of cheap devices around. Merge cubes can be used, for example, to bring AR devices into VR, and it creates like a living textbook or virtual field trip type scenario. But of course, education is more than just primary school. So we've been working with secondary and apprenticeship colleges and looking to create practical assessment tools. Not training per se, but it's assessing them in their level 3 MVQs in terms of electrical and plumbing, but then also using the 4D nature of VR to convey complex concepts around sort of thermodynamics of how like aircon and refrigeration systems can be a hot and a cold, low and high pressure system, closed system all at once. There's quite a lot of science in there, which you know, when it's just a very dry theory lesson, may not necessarily be entirely appropriate for the apprenticeship level. So we've installed this, been working with a number of colleges. So rather than being assessed for MVQ, just having dummy fuse boxes and they're all next to each other and they can copy each other, they are placed within a virtual residential environment, and they have to carry out the steps as if they are going to somebody's house, acting professionally, labeling, carrying out a 3-phase safety lock-off, which is something I didn't know I'd learned how to do beforehand, but also they can then be fully monitored and tracked in terms of their assessment and their performance. But because they're in VR, you know, they're not looking at each other, they're not copying, they're not cheating, they are fully focused on that task at hand, and they're not distracted. So the competency rates have increased and the assessment scores have gone up as well. Recruitment's an interesting area. It's been used to great effect, not just attracting talent and sort of having new ways of encouraging people to find out about the company, Obviously, it depends upon the company and how interesting it is and how much there is to show. And it's not just recruitment into jobs. It could be many universities, for example, are using 360 video to show off campuses and new buildings, etc. And it can give you sort of the full immersive studio experience of what it's like to work somewhere. But it's also being used for assessment. So rather than doing a whiteboard test or sort of theoretical tests beforehand, or getting a job and finding somebody makes a horrendous mistake on this manufacturing line in the first week. A lot of companies are actually creating simulations of their processes or the actual job itself, and as part of the interview, people are carrying this out and then being selected based upon their performance in that. But it can also be used onboarding as well, so sort of post recruitment, allowing people to remotely be onboarded, for example, because a lot of us are working virtually or remotely now, or meeting teams abroad or in different locales. So on the right there is a brief little shot. This is from JP Morgan Chase bank experience that we created, and this is so that their customer support teams who are based in Indonesia actually know what a bank in the US looks like. So when US customers are phoning them up, they can guide them around more effectively because they understand the layout. Now, this is one of my favorite images I've ever captured in VR. This is a young farmer playing a competitive potato harvesting simulator that we created for McDonald's. And why is it under recruitment? Why is it under this? Why is it not a marketing piece? So there was a report in 2015 that we were drastically running out of farming professionals. Young people just weren't interested to go into farming. They wanted to move to the city. They wanted to do tech jobs. McDonald's is one of the largest restaurant chains in the country, and they need a constant supply of suppliers supplying eggs and beef and dairy and milk, etc., in order to continue being able to serve however many hundreds of thousands of meals and burgers it is a day. So we work with them as part of their Follow Our Food Steps process that is all about provenance to plate, and follows the journey of an egg or a 100% British beef burger, etc., to encourage young people to join their apprenticeship scheme and then ideally become farming professionals who own dwellings that will then provide McDonald's with supplies in the future. And so we created a 14-meter truck stuffed full of VR that went around all the countryside and agricultural shows, and we had a number of 360 videos that were shown on VR headsets of sort of life on the farm. But the hero piece was this experience where, using the farming simulator wheels and pedals and actual tractor seats, we built fake tractors that were outside the truck, and using Oculus Rift at the time, which was the tethered headset to high-end gaming PCs. All you had to do, I say all you had to do, it was actually really quite hard, was drive a tractor in a straight line at a constant velocity so that your trailer was in the right line with the harvester and dropping your virtual potatoes into the trailer behind you. And it was gamified, so you got a score based upon how many potatoes you didn't bruise, how long you took, how neatly you drove, etc., etc. But there's a number of challenges around this, in that it was early 2016 when it was deployed. It was just before the Oculus Rift launched, because of our relationship with Oculus, we had the engineering samples, and we were working on our launch title, which I'll get onto in a bit. So we had to have special permission from Oculus to be able to use the engineering samples for the media day and the first event, because the consumer units weren't available. But the real challenge was the fact that it was outside, and the sensors and the tracking all works on IR, which is part of the spectrum of light, that comes from the sun. So on those rare days that you do get a nice British summertime, making sure that the tracking still worked and that the sun didn't interfere with that. And it was outside again, so everything was extended 15 meters on cables, and we learned a lot about which cables worked in terms of a very finicky VR headset and sensor in terms of active HDMI and USB in terms of signal strength. But then it was also high-end gaming PCs which were installed on a truck, but this truck was in the middle of a field with no reliable power source. So determining how a high-end gaming PC that has the usual behavior to reset if there's any spikes in power, how we could stably get that running for a whole day's of operation. But also the fact that this was being rolled out across 8 or 10 events across the year, and depending upon where the event was being held, they had some 2 or 3 key event staff, but then they would backfill each event with staff from the local McDonald's. So we didn't know how technical they were. We couldn't train all the staff all the time how to operate it, so we had to design it to be simple to operate. At the time, the Rift came with a little USB remote that had a number of buttons on it. So we were able to design the system so the one button, you press it to start, to stop, to reset, to realign the headsets to make sure people were ready to go, or if they stopped, it would be easy to reset. You didn't have to have access to the PC or keyboards or mice or anything. And because they wanted to appeal to everyone, you could swap genders of the avatar farmer in the tractor. Now, the things we learned, people associate colors of tractors with brands of tractors. Like if it's red, then it's probably going to be this particular manufacturer. If it's green, then it's going to be this other manufacturer. But we had to make it look like a tractor, but we couldn't make it look like a tractor that people obviously recognize as a certain brand, because we didn't have the budget to sort out licensing deals, or they didn't want to agree licensing, they didn't want to be seen to be affiliated with. So designing a tractor to look like a tractor that isn't a very specific tractor was one challenge. But also in terms of the levels of comfort, again, when I get to the gaming section at the end, we'll talk about comfort a bit more, but driving, they wanted a realistic simulation of driving a tractor across a rough field, where if you're sat in a chair not moving, but your vision is being simulated as if you're bouncing around through a field. We got a lot of reports very quickly, despite our warnings, of people saying they were feeling ill during testing. So we had to reach this balance of what looked realistic but was actually comfortable to play, but we left in the bounce, so that it was kind of a punishment if you strayed off the line too far and weren't taking it seriously and driving your tractor properly. The bounce would come in and it would encourage you to get back onto the correct line. But all in all, they were happy with the overall experience in terms of the realism. And as I say, it's real when it's actually quite difficult, and our developers coming from a flight simulator background, they don't really give you an inch when it comes to any aids or helping sort of making a gamified experience. It all comes down to skill and accurate performance. But this operated for 4 years. They had something like 125,000 people through it. It generated 62 million insights online in terms of raising awareness of unique visitors across all the various websites, and has been taken apart and rebuilt numerous times for each event. And from what I understand, it's only broken down once. So I think we did a fairly good job on that one. So healthcare, I should probably speed up a little bit. I mean, going back to the hard skills, there's a lot of use cases around healthcare in terms of training, but there's a very large area of healthcare in terms of post-operation, sort of actual treatment of the patient. Everything from recovery to during a treatment, a lot of distraction therapy and pain treatment, a lot of phobia treatments, and sort of dipping into that sort of soft skills side as well. A lot of treatments in terms of mental health. Trip VR is a really good example in terms of using virtual reality visuals and experiences to allow you to switch off from the day-to-day issues and concerns and focus upon these particular well-being aspects of improving your mental health. Now, dipping into training, we were approached by NHS Blood Group to look at how could we use VR to train people how to do blood identification. There's a number of different chemicals and agents that need to be put onto the grid, and the blood put into each spot. But it comes down to encouraging less wastage in terms of all the plastics with all the pipettes, but also the more rare blood types, making sure that they're being used for transfusions, not training people how to identify them. So we created a prototype with them looking at the very gentle motions necessary to effectively swirl these agents in the blood together to get the reading, but also how the delicateness of the pipette squeezing to get one or two drops out rather than squirting the whole lot out, and whether that was possible with a touch controller or with a VR input controller. And this has now been deployed across a variety of hospitals for that kind of training, and it's been fed back in terms of waste management, sustainability, reducing costs and waste, and it led on to 3 new projects which are in development at the moment, which unfortunately I can't talk about until they're finished. Then collaboration is a big area at the moment, obviously, because a lot of us are working virtually, remotely. We can't be together. There's a lot of talk about Zoom fatigue, and the various issues of Zoom, but also how do we carry out a lot of our sort of normal meetings and group activities within the workplace virtually. So there's been a lot of VR experiences that have grown over the past year. I've written a blog post actually about this time a year ago, when we first went into lockdown, and at that point there was already 50 applications for various forms of virtual meetings and reviews and collaboration sessions. So that number has grown quite a lot by now, whereas some have gained popularity and gained functionality. Others have fallen by the wayside, but it's a very popular area of sort of IP revenue and application development. But it's very useful, and there's some great examples. This is spatial, that work across a variety of devices, so it could be AR or VR, and a real world, and it does allow people to collaboratively work together on various projects. And again, spatial is now free, so if you do have access to a device, I highly recommend going and trying it out. They have whiteboards, you can bring in all external documents, videos. They have a mobile app where you can just take a photo and it builds the avatar from your photo. It's slightly freaky in terms of how you look, and there is, you know, a lot of argument between the social representation in terms of, do you want it to be realistic or do you want it to be completely, you know, if we're in VR and we can build anything, why do our avatars have to look like us? But again, you know, a lot of these are aimed at enterprise, so you don't necessarily want to be having meetings with a potato or a lobster, but there's a time and place for everything. Now, I was really struggling with the image for tourism, so I did the worst thing, which is going onto Google and typing some VR keywords to get some images out. And I needed some blue sun, some blue skies. But tourism is obviously another growing area with lockdown, but it was popular before then. And there's some like really valid use cases around virtual tours and being able to visit the past, because there's a number of very high profile locations around the world that have, you know, extreme visitor numbers. Obviously, it's been pretty quiet this past year, but there's an ongoing concern in terms of the number of people going to locations, just the amount of wear and tear, like how much actually longer some of these ancient monuments are actually going to be in existence, or how many more sort of feet they can cope with before it just makes sense to close down access to preserve them before we lose them. And there's a number of experiences where you can virtually go to pretty much every single sort of key space around the world these days to experience. And again, reducing travel, reducing emissions. Is it as good as going there? Probably not. But if you look at a lot of behaviors of sort of Instagrammers, etc., they're going there just for the photo. They're not really going for the place anyway. So why not virtually do it? But then there's also a lot of sort of previs and promotions. So there's a company in Japan who have grown quite exponentially during lockdown, offering virtual reality flight experiences where they have a plane and socially distanced. You go and sit on the plane and you put on a headset, and then you have a 4-hour flight experience in VR for those who are just missing the flight bit. I mean, personally, it's my least favorite bit of going on holiday. Coming off the plane in a new destination is great. But I'm 6'5", so anything being cramped and unable to move for a while is not my favorite thing to do. But also promotion. So a lot of, you know, luxury hotels, etc., are using 360 video to show off their new suites or show off the experience of going to their particular locations. But then it's not just about preservation of what's here now, but it's being able to turn back the time and see what was there then. We've worked with a number of organisations in the UK to recreate monasteries and chapels and layouts of ruins that are now, you know, a pile of rocks, and rather than just looking at a sort of drawing of what it looked like, you can actually go and visit it and speak to the monks and find out about their day, about their lives. So if you've got a Quest, I do recommend the National Geographic experience. It's got climbing, it's got canoeing, it's got a variety of activities, but it's also, you know, very, very high quality with very good budgets, with Nat Geo behind it. So onto story living, is sort of the common popular phrase for sort of immersive narrative experiences. There's anything from 360 video. There's a range of platforms for delivering 360 video to immersive theatre. This is gained a lot of popularity over the past couple of years. There's some great digital catapult and Innovate UK options there with sort of AIXR funding grants available to explore new ways of growing audiences. Typically the most well-known ones happen to involve Shakespeare, but I think the latest one's just finished, Dreams it was called, with Marshmallow Laser Feast and Portsmouth Uni and Royal Shakespeare Company as a reimagining of A Midsummer Night's Dream. But the idea here is to remove some of the elitism from theatre and encourage new audiences to get into sort of storytelling and narrative, and allowing new creators to tell their stories in new ways. 360 cameras are fairly cheap these days, and with YouTube and a variety of platforms supporting playback, it's fairly straightforward for anybody to create a video and upload their experiences. This is actually a still from one of our Creative XR prototypes, where we were looking to reimagine a way of a modern iteration of The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, mostly because it's of a certain age where the IP is freely available and doesn't need to be licensed. And we used a number of Microsoft Connects to capture the actor here. And the limitations were the Connect at the stage in terms of the density of the point cloud, but we could incorporate artistic license because the narrative was that you were looking to work with a projected version of H.G. Wells from the future to save humanity, but because he was projecting himself through time and space, his point clouds could be low density because it's difficult enough to do that as it is. Whereas these days we would look at a much higher sort of the Azure Connect, or using our other option from the DNI experience that we've done since, because here the capture rate halves every time you add another Connect. So this was 2, so we could do front and back, but if we added 3 to try and get more depth and more resolution, then it would be 7 frames per second, which is pretty terrible overall. But the challenges here were really that it was a shared experience. So it's pretty easy to use a cloud multiplayer server to allow multiple people to be in the same space virtually from different locations. But when you're tracking them all within the same space and they've all essentially got a blindfold on and moving around that same space, you need to make sure that your representation of their avatar, of where they are, that everybody else is seeing is accurate, and is being updated regularly so that people aren't physically bumping into each other. I think it goes without saying it's the main challenge with this one, which is why we've parked it, is obviously lockdown and the difficulties of creating experiences that encourage people to be in the same space together. Currently don't get much traction, but we have the framework here that we can take any device, VR or AR, with people moving around, being represented, being able to communicate with the point cloud version of H.G. Wells, and then with an AR tablet have a magic window into that world so they can see what the VR people are doing, and then they have it's a asymmetrical collaborative experience. So the people in VR are time travelers essentially, whereas the people with the tablets are their guardians, and then they're having to work together to solve puzzles to draw and drive the narrative on. So hopefully once lockdowns start easing, we're looking forward to getting back into this and working on it some more. And then entertainment and events. This is kind of where we started actually with our first VR with RS components. And the image here is from the last thing that we deployed just before lockdown, which is in the Ricoh Stadium for rugby, and the Vodafone business suite. And this is a rugby game, just a simple thing where you using trackers on your feet, which unfortunately I didn't have enough space in the photo to show. A rugby ball comes in and you drop kick it and try and score a goal. Very simple thing. This is showing off the capabilities and differences between 4G and 5G. Cheating a little bit somewhat in that when you're on 4G, the rugby ball comes in, but it's all stuttery and you can't catch it no matter how hard you try. But when it's on 5G, it's all buttery smooth and you can score a goal nice and easily. But it's often been used to great extent in terms of showcasing for events and entertainment. Some of the world's largest musical events have been held virtually recently, and it's not VR, but Fortnite, for example, has regularly had some of the most highly attended music concerts. Melody VR have just bought Napster. For those of you old enough to remember file sharing and Napster and how that ruined the music industry apparently at the time. And now they are, volumetrically capturing performances in 360 to stream to headsets, so that you don't have to go to the actual concerts or gigs anymore. And you can enhance sort of physical experiences. There's Super Nintendo World that's just opened in Japan. That's got a variety of AR and VR experiences that are building on top of the popular franchises around Mario Kart and the other Nintendo franchise licenses. And then location-based VR, again, it's had a bit of a battering this year. But for our entertainment side of things, our second game, Loco Dojo, most of its revenue came from location-based VR because not everyone has the space or the budget to have VR at home. So going to an arcade to play together a co-op or a collaborative game has been rising in popularity. For example, Loco Dojo before lockdown, it was in 800 different locations around the world. It was about 2 million minutes of gameplay a year, and was generating a nice revenue sort of on the sideline for us. But talking about that first event, this was with DK1s at the start of 2014. RS Components were just launching in China, and RS Components, if you're not aware, they make and sell Raspberry Pi and Arduino. And they've been working with our web team, seeing what we were playing around with VR and the 3D team back in the day, and decided that we could help them launch in China at the Electronica Productica event. So we created a networked 4-player racing game where you were racing around a city made out of oversized electronic components. And being in China at the time, and being DK1s, which were very new and only available in the West, we had to sort of sneak them in under lock and key and make sure all 4 came back again. And I think this was actually the first public sort of showing of VR in China at the time. It was so popular. You can just see in the lower right there, the guy with the evacuation jacket. He was consistently threatening to close down the booth because it was just generating too much interest, noise, and people for the sort of fire, health, and safety regulations of the event. But this actually then got us onto thinking, A, there's something in this VR thing, but B, this is obviously a game, a good fun game, and we ended up turning it into a game called Radial G, which ended up becoming a day one launch title for Oculus Rift with financial support from Oculus themselves. So a simple little booth attractor became one of Time and The Verge's top 5 launch titles for Oculus Rift, which was a nice outcome. Retail, we have not actually done much with retail. The same with sort of marketing, but it's rising in popularity, and certainly again, being a lockdown. I don't know how this talk's going to go in a few months' time when we're not so much in lockdown, but using immersive technologies for virtual shopping and virtualization of assets within your home is becoming very, very popular. And a lot of high street chains have mobile apps now where you can detect the planes in your lounge and then show life-size layouts or versions of a sofa or TV or rugs, or paint your walls different colors, etc. But also used in terms of enhancing that sort of brand experience or customer engagement, but also helping shops determine layout, how it's where products can go to be more effectively visible, in terms of eye tracking and virtual supermarkets, but also again, training staff how to deal with certain retail events, like Walmart, for example. I think they probably still have the largest scale deployment of VR in 17,000 Oculus Go's with a number of 360 videos, training staff how to deal with Black Friday crowds and rushes, for examples, but then also going back to that recruitment, helping weed out some of the weak candidates of that process. And being in America, unfortunately, they're also doing, how to do active shooter training and stuff like that. So there's a company in Brighton called Gorilla in the Room who specialise in retail data and immersive training. Immersive measurement. So whereas before you could track the eyes of where someone was looking at of a picture of a shelf, now you can put somebody actually into a VR headset with a 360 representation of the supermarket, and then track using Vive Pro Eye or Pico Neo 2i or HoloLens 2, to actually build up these heat maps of where people are looking, how does product placement work, what do the new standees, how are they effective in terms of their positioning, what prices or what deals are you working out with certain products in terms of placement, etc. And then lastly, actually number 10, gaming. There's obviously been a lot of talk and a lot of emphasis on gaming. Oculus are mostly focused on gaming to start off with. They do now have Oculus for Business, and there's a lot of non-gaming use cases that we've looked at. So I left this last on purpose. It is growing. I think at last count, Oculus said on the Quest there are now over 60 titles that have generated over $1 million in revenue. That's for the developer, and that equates to, I think it was 2/3 of the library so far. So it's pretty good going. In comparison to console gaming or PC gaming, it's obviously pretty small. If you look at the largest market for gaming VR devices, which is the PlayStation VR, currently about 6 million devices out there. If you compare that to, I think at last count, 147 million PlayStation 4s, and you need a PlayStation 4 to use a PlayStation VR, it's a pretty low attachment rate or ratio. So it's still a growing market, and there's still a lot of developers and publishers of traditional flat screen or pancake gaming that are loath or not willing to jump on just yet. But it's being explored, and there are opportunities out there in terms of what does VR bring to gaming. What are these new genres? What are these new ways of gaming and interacting? They couldn't be done with a gamepad or a mouse and a keyboard before. Or a Kinect, for example, or a Wiimote. And there's a lot of asymmetrical examples coming out as well. So aware that it's difficult in terms of space requirements to have VR in the home for one headset, let alone 2 or 4, that new gameplay mechanics come out where one person can be in VR, and then the rest of the multiplayer elements are on PC or mobile for the other people, for the other players. I can't really not mention Half-Life Alex, just because it's probably the most expensively to create and highly polished experience, and it's currently 40% off. I don't work for Steam or Valve. This isn't a promotion on their behalf, but at 40% off, you kind of have to at least try it at least once, just because of that level of depth of interactions and what is possible when you've got about £150 million budget. But don't let it break all of your future designs in terms of expectations of realism of what is achievable, because you probably won't have £150 million budget to play with, or a team of 350 people over 4 years. But going back to that experience at RS that we made that turned into a game, it's a high-speed arcade racing game that sees you whizzing down tubes in space, able to rotate and be on any side of the tube at any point. And people look at the video and think, well, that's going to be an instant vomit. And then they play it and they're surprised that it's more just an adrenaline rush rather than anything else rushing out. And over sort of 6 years of development and events and demos and showcases, and having put many thousands of people through it, we're still tracking under 1% of people who've had to stop within the first 20 seconds. And it's just some key design issues I wanted to highlight here in terms of what makes it comfortable, and what allows us to get away with throwing people around at such speed in VR. The first one is it's set in space. You don't have a horizon. There's nothing to mark what is up and what is down. The second one, again, this will apply to anything. Typically in VR, you typically put people in a cockpit or within a vehicle rather than looking at it from behind in a third person. But that presence within the cockpit gives you elements to ground yourself and reassure the brain and the body that you are where you should be, and focus on the foreground rather than what's happening in the background. But then we extended that in terms of the bars, sort of number 3 and number 4, I think it is. I can't see it's under my video window. These additional elements, bright lights, they are acting in your peripheral. They're just static. They're there. They're not flashing. They are just grounding you. Some of it we get away with just because this is an early VR game where a lot of them used a gamepad because there weren't tracked input controllers at the time. It was Rift came out before Vive. Dev kits were Rift before Vive, so a lot of people were focusing on narrow focused amount of sort of tracking in terms of movement. So it was a seated experience. You expected to be sat in a ship in a cockpit, so you had that natural correlation between what your bum was telling you and what your brain was telling you. But then also other elements like the track, the tube, even though it twisted and turned, it was always this constant solid thing that was always just there in front of you. It didn't twist and turn out of your sight. There are places where if you're on the outside of the tube, it feels like you're cresting the hill, whereas opposed to on the inside of the tube, you have it coming up in front of you. And cresting over the hill was a bit uncomfortable, but it encouraged you to play properly and get to the insides and have the track coming up. And then we had cockpit effects. So any artificial acceleration or deceleration to do with boost pads or slow down gates, the effects on the cockpit distracted you from what was actually happening in the environment around you in terms of the sensation of relative motion. This went through a lot of testing, and one of the things is that the Oculus Store, for example, has a comfort rating. So we could say this is an intense rating game, therefore people knew what to expect. But other stores don't. So Sony, for example, you can't use words in the store, and you have to make it experience. You have to make it a comfortable experience for everyone on their first turn. So you have to have a comfort mode which can be manually disabled at the player's discretion. So we had to work on all these extra shakes when you landed after doing a jump, or explosions when you ran out of health, turning all these various things off so that it was as flat and static and sort of constant for the comfort mode for everyone. And if you felt a bit more sort of adventurous, you could then turn that off. And then that kind of leads nicely into the sort of tips for VR design. A lot of these experiences, you have to remember sort of 7 or 8 out of 10 people is probably going to be their first experience of VR. So make it accessible, make it comfortable, allow for acclimatization. You're asking somebody a lot to give over their senses to your experience and the hardware, where you're taking over their sight and their sound and their hearing and their touch. So if you're throwing them straight into something that's just overwhelming, then they're going to bounce straight out. And also, you don't know where they're going to be using it necessarily, what hardware they're going to be using, what their, like with Vodafone, what their motor functionality is. Make it accessible and simple for everyone. And where budget and time allows, you can add those layers of complexity so that people can decide to explore further as they get more comfortable with their own sort of understanding and experience of the actual hardware. But again, through all of this is all about not necessarily the uniqueness as I've put here, but you always have to ask yourself, what can you do in VR that you can't do? But ultimately, why are you using VR to try and achieve something? Is it actually bringing something beneficial? Is it actually going to do something or enable an experience that can't be done in the real world? And there's obviously various reasons why it can't be achieved in the real world. It might be cost, it may be logistics, it may be not being able to travel, etc. But you look at specific outcomes and objectives that you're trying to achieve in terms of why are you doing this in VR beyond just making it like a wow or a gimmicky sort of impact factor. How does it complement existing things? Doesn't necessarily need to completely replace something, but ultimately going back to that comfort and sort of accessible side of things, and this comes with practice, is optimization of the performance to ensure that it runs smoothly 24/7 against the target hardware. Because these days, whilst we'll never solve simulator sickness or motion sickness, the levels of the hardware in terms of latencies and refresh rates and performance, achieving that side of immersion, we've got to a state where that's reduced as much simulator sickness as we can do, but a lot of issues are mostly around design these days, or poor optimization if it's not running properly, if it's not running at 60 or 72 or 90 or above. So yeah, the real trick is ensuring that you're running rock solid all the time to give the best possible experience for each particular bit of hardware. And that, I think, is enough for me. It leaves us half an hour, I think, for Q&A.
Thank you very much, Sam. That was really awesome. I've actually got loads of ideas and questions written down, but I'd love to have hear what other people have to say. So if everyone wants to unmute, I don't think there's any restrictions on being muted. People feel free to ask a question.
Sorry, I'm just quickly leaving. I've written a big report last year about benefits of VR with some actual measurements, which you can get there on the top link. If you want to understand our 4D process of creating projects from discovery to design to development to deployment, that's my latest post. As I say, I've written a lot about VR over the past 8 years. We've got 300 plus articles at that link. And if you want more monthly news relevant to the current happenings, then I write the newsletter that goes out every month as well. So if you want to grab a screen capture that, or jot those down now, or I can share the links direct with Mark later. But yeah. Sorry, you were saying?
You just said screen capture that and then you should switch screen.
It's one button.
So take a picture. I'll probably type them out.
Yeah.
Hi Sam, I got a question, if you don't mind. Really interesting talk. Thanks for that. I'm interested to know kind of how you decide kind of how many people work on each project that you do, and how you kind of like split up the work between people as you kind of and kind of work in a team on the projects.
Yeah, sorry, just let me stop sharing for now. Well, a lot of it comes down to good old-fashioned budget and who's available, but I think on average our projects would generally have one designer, one artist, and one coder on them. And on average our projects are generally about 3 months from sort of kickoff to deployment. But a lot of it comes down to what is the amount of art that's required, what are the specialist skill sets. Heavy construction projects where we've got a lot of assets to model for a site or to adapt or to work into, then we may have 2 or 3 artists and then may not have any coders because it may just be a modeling job. Whereas a more complex experience like Loco Dojo, for example, we may have 4 programmers on it because one of them specializes in UI, UX and front end. One of them specializes in multiplayer networking. One of them specializes in game balancing. And then one of them specializes in interactions and making the whole thing sort of hang together. But ultimately it all comes down to the experience of at the point of discovery and design, sort of scoping out and estimating against that scope to determine how many person days of effort is each task, and what does that all tally up to how many developers do we need to put it on for how many days to get it done. But on client work, it's typically that they'll have a fixed budget which will give us a number of development days, and then it's how can we deliver a relevant experience within scope to that, and what has to be dropped, or what's a must have, a should have, a could have, or a nice to have in terms of features and functionality.
Yeah, so do you have project managers as well, I assume, or do you kind of take on the role as developers to kind of manage the project as well?
It depends upon the client and the size of the project. Anything over sort of 30 to 50k, which generally sort of gives us 60-ish days of development, we'll have a project manager on.
Okay.
For clients like Vodafone, Lloyd's, EDF, and those who we've been working with for many years and done many projects with, we'll have a account manager with, and they will sort of handle the day-to-day high-end overall project side of things. But yeah, our production team is growing as we're growing to support that increasing number of projects. But typically we have 7 or 8 projects running concurrently at various stages. Yeah, without project management, it would be a mess.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
I got another question.
Got some chat here. Yeah, sorry, I missed all the chat.
I think it's all the links, wasn't it, that Mark was putting in?
There is a question there from Frederick.
Yes, I just want to ask a question. So thank you for your talk. It is very interesting. My question is about the case you mentioned in China about the network game.
Yeah.
So do you just stream the 3D contents over the network to different clients or users, or you assume the users they pre-install the content such that they can visualize the content?
So bearing in mind this was 2014,
Yes.
when that was installed, like most applications even today, it's pre-installed as a packaged APK as an app, either on the PC or on a standalone headset. It's only with 5G and edge nodes and cloud compute that we're starting to be able to stream stuff to a headset. 360 video streaming is a lot more straightforward than real-time 3D streaming, because obviously you're just streaming video frames, and then you can buffer and determine where they're looking. But the latency in terms of streaming for having the user make an interaction and then streaming the output of that interaction to a server, the server determining what the output is and then streaming it back to represent it within the headset, the latency is pretty high. I mean, we're dealing with 15 milliseconds per frame maximum. 5G adds 10 to 15 milliseconds in best case scenario. So you're effectively halving your frame rate, which is fine for video if it's 3DOF and you're not really moving, but to suddenly be moving at half speed when you're free roaming around in 4D space can become disorientating and problematic and potentially dangerous. But also there's not 5G is good for bandwidth. The latency standards only got signed off last year. The number of connections, which is like number of devices connected, which is the third part of 5G, hasn't been finalized yet. And there aren't many, the network is set up for high speeds over low distances or short distances. So you can probably get away with having your remote server at the back of a room or back of a factory. But you couldn't necessarily do it across city to city. There isn't the network. Well, in the UK, there certainly isn't the network, but I know the UK is pretty behind in terms of 5G adoption. I know if we go to Korea, for example, there's a lot of city to city 5G integration, but also it's not just the bandwidth. You need to have, NVIDIA or a GPU compute at each node to be able to effectively render remote render rather than just throwing large amounts of data around.
Yes.
But that museum, sorry, not the museum, the theatre experience I talked about with H.G. Wells' Time Machine, that was exploring how to transmit the data of H.G. Wells to the headset rather than having each headset preloaded with the application, because ultimately we wanted to be able to expand it to 1,000 headsets and being able to stream it as a ticketed performance as opposed to people having access to it all the time.
Yes. I have one more question. It is about the COVID pandemic. Do you see there's an increased usage of VR technologies?
There is and there isn't. It depends upon the industry or the sector. Many of our training clients have reduced usage because they would be training in the office in a classroom together, and people aren't in offices, so they're not together to do the sessions. Whereas other clients, they do it in smaller groups, or they are using our Skill Shield product, which has that combined video, which they can then live stream to a training facilitator or a training manager. So they can send a headset to a location, they can do the training on their own, but they can still be assessed remotely. other organizations are rapidly adopting VR because they see the extended set of use cases and applications where it's a tool, it's just a tool within an existing tool set, and they can hold remote meetings and design reviews and collaborations, social experiences, etc., or events. So overall, it is accelerating, and it has been beneficial. But also, I think the timing in terms of standalone VR becoming more widely available, combined with coronavirus, I think if coronavirus had happened in 2 years' time, when standalone had been a bit more widely adopted and a bit more known about, then it would have been more beneficial, because standalone VR was just getting everyone excited and the adoption rates was just starting to go up, and then the factories shut, and then the stock shortages happened, and then everyone was being told, hey, VR is really good if you could buy it, because it wasn't in stock anywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It turns out VR headsets are made in wood tongue, so
But yeah,
it wasn't particularly good for allergical center of coronavirus, center of VR headsets. It's not a great combination.
But then obviously the other issue is people don't want to share devices either. So, but there are UVC cleaning technologies, etc., for hygiene and allowing devices to be shared. Or if you're an organization with a lot of money, you just buy more headsets because it means you can put some aside for 5 days or whatever. So, but I don't know any organizations that, they haven't gone out and bought every single one of their 75,000 employees a headset to use at home yet.
Isn't that PwC guy effectively trying to do that? I just don't think he can get enough Oculus Quest, his hands on enough Oculus Quest to do that.
Yeah, Jeremy, I mean, they're doing, it's a executive awareness sort of piece, allowing them to start exploring how to use VR for collaboration. But it's also, they've done their own D&I experience using Volcap and Microsoft Dimension Studios to start showing how they can use VR more within the organization for training.
Jack, I think you were asking a question before you were cut off.
Yeah, that's right. Great talk. So thanks for that one. My question's kind of about landing that first kind of big contracted job. So any advice you have or how you went about doing that?
Yeah, I mean, our mantra is always start small and iterate. But it's also, pardon my English, don't bullshit. Don't promise what the technology can't give or deliver. We spend a lot of my time. I'm not a creative. I'm not a developer. I don't have any involvement in actually making anything because I can't code for toffee and I'm rubbish at drawing. It is evangelizing and educating people around what the possible use cases are and talking about what those validations are. The link that I've shared, the 4 Ds of XR projects, within that link, I've actually shared 4 project canvases that allow you to ask the right questions and think in the right way in terms of how to design for VR. And how to validate whether it's a sensible use case to use that technology or not. So we get a lot of people coming to us saying, we want something in VR. And I'm like, well, why? And they're like, well, because our competitors are using it, or because I've got an innovation tick box I need to please my boss, with. And we don't, spin them around on the spot. Tell them to go away. We'll work with them to go through a discovery session to determine what is that key, what is that high profile or high priority key business objective they're trying to meet, or what is blocked, or what is the problem that they're trying to solve with VR. And ultimately, the tech stack falls out of the solution rather than driving it. we work across the whole spectrum of immersive technology, and it's not always VR that is the answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's ultimately it's find that one unique specific sort of objective or outcome that you can design against with something small, and then measure against its effectiveness. And once you've proved its worth with that, then build upon it.
Okay.
But at the same time, don't be afraid to throw it out and start again.
Cool. Thanks for that. Cheers.
And I've got another question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
James has been very patiently waiting for his hand up.
Oh, sorry.
Use the hand function. James, you ready to go?
Sorry, let him go first.
No, thank you, Joe. Afternoon, Sam. Thank you very much for your talk and for your time, really.
That's all right.
Chambers, as Mark introduced. I had a question, actually, regarding the 10 different categories that you're talking about. In terms of the driving factors for the development of VR technologies, are they the same for each different category, or are they different? And if so, what are they?
Ooh, I mean, those are sort of sectors where they've been deployed and where they've been effective. I think most of them would be around wanting to save money or achieve an outcome more effectively. Where it's more sort of retail or marketing orientated, it's usually more emphasized around providing an impact or a wow factor, or a new way of engaging with an audience or a customer. But ultimately, it always just boils down to that why question. Why are you using VR for this particular requirement? What is it going to achieve? Is it saving money? Is it saving time? Is it making something easier? Is it making something more effective? And does it allow you to do it at scale, or does it allow you to recreate a scenario that can't be recreated in the real world, or is such an edge case that you can't be there filming to get a certain accident on camera to use as a scenario? You have to program it, etc. But a lot of it comes down to, as I say, those project canvases where you can go through and determine what is that driving sector for that particular sector, driving factor for that sector that you're particularly interested in.
Well, no, thank you. I appreciate.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, in part it does. I understand where you're coming from, like that they're different sectors and that their own particular requirements for their driving factors differ depending on the nature of why a company is using VR, or why a customer would like to use VR, and what they'd like to, see it in terms of how better it gets, what they want to use it for in future. So I think I do have an understanding. I had a follow-up question in that. How did you know that there'd be a future for VR, and that when you did realize that there would be a future for it, in relation to what you expected for VR to be and what it currently is now, how do those two differ for you?
Well, as I said, I was allowed to go on that year journey of exploration to go and try out various VR and go and meet people who were like at that early stage, starting out and exploring and building stuff and just building prototypes and throwing things together in Unity to see what did and didn't work. And we had we were lucky with those early clients of EDF and RS believing and trusting us to spend a small bit of their money to sort of go on a journey of discovery with them, with a reason. And one was how to enhance training throughout their entire organization in the case of EDF Energy around nuclear power. The other was RS in terms of how can they make a splash in a new region for selling Raspberry Pis or whatever. But you know, I think ultimately it took 3 years to really validate that business case for being able to build a business out of it. But it was a snowball effect in that once we had a couple of projects that we could then show other people, they could see other people doing it, so they wanted to do it, but then they could also understand what could be done with it. But you quickly reach a limitation of imagination where a lot of people struggle to translate one tech demo or one interaction type that you're showing them and how that correlates to what they want to achieve. So, for example, we were speaking to a large European train company about how to create VR training for their brand new train maintenance of their brand new train suite, and all we had to show them was the level 3 MVQ electrical training experience. And it's like, well, look, here's a fuse box and here's like electrical switches and stuff. Imagine that was in a train, and then you could train people how to do it in a train, and your train could be out on the track generating revenue rather than being in the maintenance yard training, you know, having people climbing over it, learning how to fix it. You can do it virtually. And they didn't get it. They couldn't understand what VR would do. So to allow them to understand, we literally bought, you know, a $5 model of the train off Turbo Squid in 3D, took that fuse box from the house model, put it in a cupboard in the train model, put the VR camera into the scene, and then put them in it, and got them to go into the train and open the cupboard door, and then do the same thing with the same electrical fuse box, but it was in the train. And they're like, oh, right, now I understand.
Now we understand
how I can use VR. But it's, in terms of where it is now to where we thought it was going to be, I mean, we're all old grumpy cynics and slight pessimists, and we generally plan for the worst and hope for the best. So we have a lot of business planning in terms of financial profit and loss and targets and everything else, in terms of making sure that the company exists and we can always pay people. We don't have to lay people off in any kind of situation. As an agency, it's difficult with a business model because you typically only have like 3 months visibility of what's coming down the line in terms of invoices and project work. And there's a lot of hype and a lot of analysts predicting great things for VR. And a lot of people got carried away, and they were, you know, buying their second mansion and third yacht and everything else before having made the money. But we always knew, and we've always got this belief that, you know, it has this extraordinary power and capability, but like a lot of new technologies or emerging technologies, it's going to take time. You know, if you look back at like how long it took for the radio or the TV or mobile phones or the internet to reach a critical mass or a mass market adoption, you're talking like a few decades. So for VR to be launched in 2013 effectively, because a lot of people never heard of it before, and for them people to predict that 2015 or 2016 was going to be the year of VR was just complete nonsense. So it's just basically, we just didn't listen to the analysts or the thought leaders or the mouthpieces, and just carried on doing what we were doing, small scale, growing and getting more, getting larger with each client, to ensure that we never got carried away. It makes it less exciting, but it's still really exciting because we're playing with VR and new toys and technology every day. It's just a case of realistic expectations and having a bit of patience. So I think it's at where I was expecting it to be at now. But the hockey stick moment will come. You know, we are slowly, the adoption line is getting slowly more and more vertical, and then it's going to go bam. You know.
Well, fair enough. Really thank you for that answer. I appreciate it. And the last question that I had, it wasn't so much to do with this particular talk, but I think it was on a podcast that you did in 2018 on October. I think it was Everything VR and AR. The question was posed in that could training for flight simulators through VR be enough to get accreditation or certificates? And what I wanted to ask was that could VR training, in your eyes, be considered enough when needing job experience or when applying for jobs?
I don't want to answer the majority of your questions with it depends upon the situation or the sector, but I mean, it kind of does. But bearing in mind 2018, headsets quite different then, and we didn't know about Vario, but we could expect where things were going. If you look at the Vario headset today in terms of its super high refresh and super high resolution, almost eye resolution in terms of clarity and the ability to do mixed reality and bringing in real world joysticks overlaid within virtual cockpits and whatnot. I wouldn't like to say VR could entirely replace. I mean, one of my points on the top 10 tips at the end there was like about complementing. But what VR can certainly do is get you to a base level that gives you a better than a standing start to go to the next simulator level. Flight simulators, I probably used the same example in that podcast, but flight simulators exist because planes are expensive and they have to be in the sky with ticketed customers to generate revenue, and it's also dangerous putting an untrained pilot in a plane when if they mess up they could kill themselves and their passengers.
True.
But then flight simulators are also expensive. A plane is what, 40 million quid, a flight simulator is 8 million quid. So they have to be booked and operational 24/7 for many years before a company has got the value of them back. And you need to have so many hours in a flight simulator to get your level high enough to go into to fly a plane. So there's no reason why you could do your flight simulation to a certain level, to a number of hours in VR, which would account for a number of hours equivalent in a flight simulator, which means you need less flight simulator time, which means you get to the plane flying bit sooner. But I don't know entirely replacing. I think it's always good to have a bit of real world experience. But what it can do is greatly reduce. So the project that some of you are going to be looking at is to do with cable maintenance. And before the VR training experience that we created, they were using real physical cable to train people with how to maintain it. This cable only has a finite supply in the world. So for every foot that is used for training is a foot less that we have to replace real cables in the real world when we need them. So by creating a VR experience that trains people how to do the maintenance, the basics, they don't have to use cables to learn the basics of maintenance. But when we're coming to assess them, whether they can actually do that maintenance on a cable, then you use a little bit of actual cable, but you're wasting a whole lot less cable as a result.
No, fair enough. Thank you.
All right. So phone call. Using my phone as webcam.
No, that's perfectly all right.
Joe, do you still have your question?
Yeah, I do. I think you've kind of partially answered anyway. But I'm interested to know the kind of the difference you've taken approach between kind of you've got the agency and the contract and client work, and then you've built the products. So I'm interested to know kind of I guess what as a studio, which do you prefer to focus on, and then what do you feel is kind of more beneficial for the company, and then also kind of the 5-term plan of the business as well.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a couple of years ago we took a bit of investment into the company to allow us to start moving away from being a straight up agency. As I said, as an agency, you've only got like 3 months visibility in terms of work coming in, which makes it really hard to forecast things like cash and workflow, resource planning, recruitment. You've got to do that constant chase and churn of generating leads and meeting people and getting the sales in and getting those opportunities in. But as when you operate as an agency, you have profit built into the day rates that you charge people for creating projects. So that as long as you're being paid, say 50 grand, and you've promised that it will be delivered within 60 days because that's your day rate, then you'll make 10% profit on that, and your company will be able to continue or grow. But when you're building a product, you're building at cost because the profit is due to come when you launch it and when you sell it. And then ideally it's generating profit when you sleep because people are always buying it digitally at any time without your involvement. But designing for agency and designing for product is two entirely different worlds. For an agency, you have a agreed scope, an agreed budget and a timeline. When you're designing your own products, I'm not saying we care more, but because it's our own money and our own thing, it's very easy to want to do more and to add just that little bit more to it. And like, oh well, if we just launch in 2 weeks instead of a week, then we can, get features X, Y, and Z in. Or you end up making the wrong product because you haven't assessed the market or the requirements properly, or the actual intention of the end users of how they would be using it. Our first 2 products we started creating in partnership with first a large waste management organization and then the multinational finance organization, because they couldn't get the sign off internally to get us to create a bespoke product for the bespoke experience for them. So we said to them, hey, if we work with you and you kind of give us like the Nintendo seal of approval, that because it's come from your design and your training, therefore it's legit, then we'll sell it as a licensed product and we'll pay to develop it, but it'll be in partnership with XYZ company to give it that credence. I see. But in actual fact, we ended up creating a product that only really they wanted, and it was only worth what they should have paid for it as a project in the first place, because it wasn't necessarily something that was going to go out to a much wider user base. So yeah, you have to do a lot of market research to determine what are you going to spend your own money to build on a product, to make sure you've got customers wanting it at the end of the day.
I see.
But building your own products is a lot nicer than building agency work, just because you've got full creative control over it. But that's very rare. Even if you're building a product, especially in gaming, typically you will likely have a publisher, or you'll always have stakeholders or other people who are in charge of the finances, who have a vision of what they want to see out of it.
Yeah. No, okay. Thanks a lot.
It's all right.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Cheers.
Oh, I have another question, if that's all right.
Yeah, we've just gone past 4. I am going to have to wrap this up shortly.
Oh, so it'll be quick. I was we had access to some of the applications as a result of sending out emails to Mark. And one of the applications, I think, was the NHS blood drive.
Mm-hmm.
I was just curious, because running through it, I saw that the kind of like the approx dev cost for it was, I think, it would take 25K with 2 months dev time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering, like the costs regarding that. Like I also kind of experienced some of the other applications, and they seemed to have a lot of like more to them, quite intricate. So I'm just curious about the cost breakdown of developing that app for the NHS blood drive, because it didn't seem like it had a lot, and I have no frame of reference in terms of how much it takes to make such. So I'm just curious.
Sure. A lot of that was spent just on the R&D. So building and prototyping the exploration into tracking the motion and whether this worked, and the pipette motion, but then also a lot of iteration and feedback and user testing into the various gauges and visual feedback systems to the user in terms of how well they were doing. But then if you've only played through it once, you've only seen one outcome. There's about 20 different patients in it, and it's a randomized, so you get a different one every time. So there's, it's just the iteration of that.
Okay, no, fair enough.
But then there's that cost covers, all the discovery, all the workshops, all the design process, all the art, all the coding, testing, deployment, project management. It's 25K doesn't go very far in our world, unfortunately.
Fair enough. Thank you, appreciate that.
That's all right.
Well, thank you very much, Sam, for coming and giving a talk to us. I hope our pandemic is coming to starting to come to an end, and things are making people allowed to move around, that we can invite you down to come and see what the students have been up to and give you some of their demos and stuff and have a talk.
Yeah, it'd be great.
I just from looking at that list, I can see some project ideas, around I was very interested about what you guys have been doing with microaggressions. I was like, I mentioned you before about microexpressions, and I love what you guys have been trying to do with the stereotropic light field stuff. Obviously, latest connects and stuff. I feel it's probably a good research project to be done there on trying to capture that, because there's definitely something on trying to get the human emotion in there, and the video does still seem to be a good way to capture that. So
yeah.
It's been very interesting listening to you talk about all these different ways you guys have been doing this and what you found. Obviously, I need to.
I hope it was interesting and helpful.
I very much enjoyed it. I think everyone here so far seems to be very deeply interested in questions. Excellent. Just to say, I just put it in the chat, but our next talk will be on the 21st of April. We've got a double bill from Michael Moorhead from Siglass and Dr. Mar Gonzalo Franco from Microsoft coming. Their talks haven't been actually named yet, but they'll be giving their talks on that day. So thank you very much, Sam. And
excellent.
Look forward to seeing you all guys next time.
Yep. Well, Mark's got my address. I'm on Twitter and stuff, VR_Sam. So if you want to connect, if you've got any other further questions, by all means, just drop me a DM.
Thank you very much, Sam. Really appreciate your time.
Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all soon.
Thanks, Sam.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.